Now this question says here is a right angle triangle. Okay, calculate the size of the angle marked x, that's this angle. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. And that one says here is another right angle triangle. Calculate the value of y. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. Now this will take us to a topic I titled Sine, Cos and Tan Rule in Right Angle Triangles. Okay, now remember that this side in a right angle triangle is called opposite. Why? Because it's opposite this angle. Okay, now let's call it our opposite. Okay, now this is called the hypotenuse, and this is adjacent. Okay, because it's adjacent to the angle here, and this is hypotenuse, and it's the longest side of a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse. Okay, now bearing this in mind, we're going to use something I call sine, cos and tan rule, and a very easy way of remembering this is to use so ka tua. Now so ka tua meaning sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cos, adjacent over hypotenuse, tan, opposite over adjacent. Okay, now what are we trying to say? Sine of this theta. Okay, sine theta is going to give us this opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, and cos of this theta, cos theta is going to give us adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, now tan theta will give us opposite over adjacent. Okay, now there are rules that we use in, there are methods that we use in deriving this, but I won't stress us further to go and start getting the methods. But all you just have to bear in mind is that if you want to calculate sine theta, use opposite over hypotenuse. If you want to calculate cos theta, use adjacent over hypotenuse. And if you want to calculate tan theta, use opposite over adjacent. Now how do you know the one you're going to use? Now you're going to know the one you're supposed to know the one you use by the parameters given to you. Now let's look at those questions we were asked before. Now the first one was a triangle. Okay, and we're told that this angle is x, and the hypotenuse was 8 and the base 5, and we're told to find x. Now looking at this, now we're given only base and hypotenuse. Okay, or the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Now from so ka tua, okay, we look for the one that has adjacent and hypotenuse, and that's the one we're going to use. From here you see this one is opposite hypotenuse is out, adjacent hypotenuse, this is cos, then opposite adjacent, no, this is out, so it's cos. So we're going to do cos of x equal to adjacent, this is adjacent 5 over hypotenuse is 8. Okay, now remember we're asked to find x. Okay, so we'll have cos of x will be 5 divided by 8. That will to be 0.625. Okay, so your x will now be cos inverse of 0.625. Now how do you do cos inverse? You actually press shift and press cos. Cos inverse automatically shows. Okay, shift and cos inverse shows. Then of this you have x to be 51.3178 degrees, and we're asked to calculate it to 3 significant figures. That's 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 51.3 degrees, and that's your x. Okay, now we're given another question we're given another question. Okay, and that question here we had 40 degrees, 40 degrees rather, please. 40 degrees, then opposite we had y centimeters, and here we had 12.5 centimeters. Now this is another one. Now you can see that they gave us opposite and adjacent. Okay, now we'll go back to our SOHCAHTOA and find the one that has opposite and adjacent, and that's tan. So we'll have to do tan of the angle. So tan 40 equals opposite over adjacent. Opposite is y over adjacent is 12.5. Okay, so y will now be 12.5 times, this cross multiplies this, okay, times tan 40. Now doing that on our calculator, we'll have 12.5 tan 40, and it's going to give us y to be 10.4887, which is approximately 10. Okay, we're told to correct to 3 significant figures too. Okay, one decimal place is just this way. Okay, that's, you check this one, this is 8, so it's up to 5, you add here, so it's going to be 10.5 centimeters. Now basically what you look for when you're given this kind of question, look at the parameters given. Is it opposite? Is it adjacent? Is it hypotenuse? Any parameter you're given, now any of the sides given, use it and check your SOHCAHTOA and know the particular one to use, and that's how you'll be able to solve all the questions in sine, cos and tan rule.